All right, Bible buddies, we're starting the new year off wild and crazy. I have a whole mountain of Bibles that I have to get through this year, preferably. I'm hoping to get through the remainder of the Bibles that I will be selling this year, and hopefully at the first half of this year. So I've got quite a bit that are going to be coming out that I'm going to be selling when these videos come out. So make sure if you're interested in seeing one of these, that you're subscribed to the channel so you can see as soon as the video drops, you can see a Bible you like, and then go hop on over to eBay and make your bid. And I always put them for bids when the video first drops. I put the eBay auction live for 10 days, so you have 10 days after the video hits to bid on the Bible, and I leave it for bids. I know I get a lot of people contacting me directly asking if they can buy them outright, but I like to leave them up for bids, not so that I get the most amount of money. That's not a concern to me. I just want to give everybody a fair shot at it. I've certainly missed out on some great Bibles because people put them out there and it's something that's sought after, but then somebody swipes it up immediately. And I want to give everybody a chance if they see something here they like, because I know a lot of these Bibles aren't something that you're going to come across every day. So make sure you're subscribed and all that jazz so you can see them if you're interested in purchasing any of these. But we'll go ahead and get started. This is an HCSB Colormax Bible and an electric blue Bible. Now, the Colormax Bible series was one that they did, and these are kind of the colors they did. I think they did a yellow and a green and a blue and then kind of a reddish purple kind of thing, maybe like a magenta color. I don't know. But I have this one in blue, and it is a very blue. It almost reminds me of like an old Polaroid packaging, kind of the sans serif font here. You can see the Holman logo there, and then let me show you the kind of the rest of the sleeve there. Colormax Electric Blue Bible, HCSB Holman. On the bottom the same, and then on the back some information here. I'll go ahead and hold it up for you, hopefully with no glare, and you guys can pause it if you want to read it and see some more information on this Colormax Bible. This is one that I believe has been discontinued, so it's here, or nowhere, I guess, maybe on eBay. Try the ISBN number. That's usually where I search for on eBay. People are usually pretty good about including the ISBN number. But again, it's just a plain sleeve, nothing fancy. Now, look at this. This is just something else. Look how shiny that Bible is. You can see my camera setup. You can see the fan. You can see my big old noggin right there, kind of. So what is that? Maybe my lights? Yeah, I think that's my light setup. So yeah, you can see all kinds of stuff. And it's like this very high gloss blue. And it feels like a pleather or like a vinyl. It's almost like a vinyl, or I don't know, like a vinyl cover. It's very like vinyl-y feeling. But again, on the spine there, you have HCSB, Colormax, and then Holman. And on the back, there's nothing. There's just a little perimeter line around the edge there that you can see. But a very, very blue Bible. Now, a caveat. I definitely spent some time dressing this Bible up. I don't know why. I was in that realm, that time of my life when I was dressing up every Bible. I thought every Bible needed to be customized. So this has a lot of blue added to it. So this is a very blue Bible. It did not come with the blue under silver art gilt. I added that. If I remember correctly, I don't think it came with 2 ribbons. It might have only come with one kind of like mediocre ribbon. So I added the ribbons. And then I think it had white head and tail bands, but I colored those like a gray to kind of match the kind of theme. So those are some additions. Yeah, but like I said, gray head and tail bands. There's a blue and a black ribbon. I'll pull them out in a second. And then you can see that kind of silver, blue under silver art gilt. So certainly something unique. And then I also added end sheets, which I love to do. And this is, I think, maybe a white banana paper. I'm not sure, but you can kind of see some little plant materials in there. This is a handmade paper. I used to love putting handmade papers on my liners. I just think they look so good. Now I think I messed up here and I kind of put a little patch because I think this paper that I used was super thin. You can actually see the glue stripes through it that I used, and I think the paper actually tore here, so I like reinforced it with another piece. I wasn't perfect on all of these, but I don't think it looks half bad. Look, more plant material there. I think it looks pretty good, pretty neat, right? You can see the corner work there. It's pretty well done. Nothing crazy. I mean, looks pretty good for pleather, I guess, for vinyl. Let's go ahead and pull these ribbons out right quick before we get into it so you guys can see them. I think I left them kind of long too because I really like long ribbons. Maybe not super long. Okay, yeah, not too bad. I'll take a look at my how well I even them out. Yeah, so they're pretty even and they're angle cut. So not too shabby. These are double-sided satin ribbons, and these are the ones I just got from like I can't remember now. Hobby Lobby, and they're like $1 for a roll of these ribbons, and they're actually really nice double-sided satin 3/8" ribbons. So if you guys have a Hobby Lobby near you, I would recommend these ribbons for ribbons in your Bible if you're brave enough to replace your own ribbons. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have just a couple very thick end sheets there, and we have our presentation page, and you can see where my art gilt kind of bled over there. And we have our Holy Bible, Old and New Testaments, our title page, and it gets right into the copyright information. I'll put that there for you guys to pause if you want to see any of that. And there's some ISBNs of the other colors, and they did have an electric blue, a hot pink, a ruby red, and a silver, so no yellow. And this appears to be the first printing in 2013, and it was printed in South Korea. And I'm assuming that SW is the name of the company that printed it. I'm not sure what SW stands for, though. Here's the books of the Bible. Table of contents. Now, this is like a pocket edition, so it's going to be very small, the text. I remember that about this, and that might be why I'm willing to part ways with this Bible. It's a little too small for me to read now. How to use this Bible, a little explanation of it. I love this, God's plan for salvation. So if you're out and you're about, I mean, you're carrying this in your pocket, this is a good little reference if you're not too sure what to say. I know some people who are new to the Bible aren't too sure what to say, so that's a good starting point. Introduction to the Holman HCSB, excuse me. That's the little philosophy, the translation philosophy there, an explanation of it. Always recommend you read that, the preface to the translation, so you can kind of see where they're coming from and their views. Commonly used abbreviations in the HCSB for the text that they reference. You have your Old Testament title page. Genesis. Now, even though it is diminutive, this is a very nice layout. Look at that. Oh, it's so small. I gotta get it so close to the camera. Sorry, guys. So we have Genesis there, and then you can see it's a double column paragraph setup. Layout. Yeah, layout. We'll go with that. Now, you can see it is an end of paragraph reference. So you see some cross references there, very diminutive, but they are there at the end of each paragraph. And then we have a double line drop cap for the numeral, or double line numeral for the chapter indicator. Then you have your little subject header there, the creation in this instance. And then at the bottom, you have your footnotes. Oh, criminy, those are very small. There's a little example. Let's flip a few pages. You can see that there's a poetic layout right there. You get a few pages into it. So there's your poetic layout again. Some more features, your footers, your footnotes, excuse me. The way that we have it, we have our page numbers and the gutter, and then we have our book. What do we have? We have our book, our chapter, and our starting verse number. And then we have our book, our chapter, and our ending verse number on the opposite side. Again, the footnotes at the bottom, end of paragraph cross-references there, double line numerical indicator for the chapter, and then your running headers, not just at the beginning of chapters, but throughout the text as well. Like you have here the line of Cain. Let's go ahead and get to Psalms. We'll take a look. Holy to the Lord. I love that, nice and bold to call your attention to it. Sign of the fleece. Now that's interesting. So there's a little bit of differentiation here. This does not look bolded, the sign of the fleece, but then this looks bold. So I don't know if there was some inconsistencies there, excuse me, with the formatting, or if they did that for a specific reason. But just to note, the text you can see, man, it is small. Good for a pocket edition, I guess. I'm sure there'll be some takers on this one because the HCSB was a loved edition. Now, if you notice here, we're in the Psalms. But you can see that this is kind of a blue paper. It's very white, it appears on this portion, but when it gets into the gutter, you can definitely see that kind of blue cast there, indicating that it is a blue paper. I hope that the camera can pick that up. But just a heads up, so if you don't like blue paper, this is not going to be one that you're going to enjoy. If it's that big of a deal to you. It doesn't appear super blue like over here and here, but that could just be the lighting that I'm in. Let's go to Psalm 119. Here we have Psalm 119. You can see that there's the Hebrew letters and the transliterations there as well. You have a nice poetic formatting there. And see, I always comment that I wish more people would spend time in the poetic layout. And it looks like they evened it out pretty good here. You know, there's a couple, double word lines, but double certainly better than single word lines. So it looks pretty nice, the poetic layout. We'll take a real close look at the paper. Not that, I feel like in this size, like you can only complain so much about certain things because it's just to be expected. It's going to be a little more difficult reading situation given the size. But it does appear to be line matched fairly well. Not perfectly. I guess I can see a little bit here where it's off. So maybe not perfectly line matched. But the show through isn't that bad, especially considering the size of this edition. You can see a little bit there and a little bit there. But it's not terrible, again, considering the size. And that might also have to do with how big the font is. Obviously, if the font's not as large, there's not as much ink on the page, and it's a little easier to, get away with some of that kind of ghosting. Let's flip back to the intertestamental period. There we go. We have the end of Malachi, the New Testament title page, and then right into Matthew. I'm sure you guys already saw that it was red letter, but we'll flip a few pages. You can see here that they bold the Old Testament quotes to let you know. And here we have our red letter. We'll turn one more page. You guys can really see it. So this is a nice red letter from Holman. Now Holman doesn't use like a super red. It's kind of I don't know, maybe like a umber. It's a red, but it's not quite like a bright, vibrant red. But it's nice enough. Again, in this form factor, if you have a hard time reading red letters, you're going to have it's going to be, intensified by the fact that this text is so small. Can't see the very nice blue art gilt that I added. Thank you very much. Pat myself on the back here. Yes. But not too shabby. We'll keep going to the end here and see what kind of features they have. I don't know that there's very much at the end. Although Holman tends to have some good stuff in the end. Yeah, there's a little section here helps. So here we have the end of Revelation. Then we have HCSB bullet notes. Bullet notes. And it looks to be like some defined kind of names and some terms that have been defined. Tables of weights and measures. Then we have our where to turn. I love that section in Holman Bibles. And this is like a little section like where to turn when you sin, where to turn when you have failed God, and just some like different readings, quick places to access if you need kind of a quick reference. Titles of Jesus. Messianic scriptures that Jesus fulfilled. This stuff is always good to have on you, especially in a pocket size. Here's a topical concordance. Now it's going to be obviously fairly light just because of the size of it all. And that's the end of it there. Just a few pages. 130 to 52. Yeah, so what is that, like 16 pages? Not very much, but enough, I suppose. Then you have some maps, very diminutive in scale. Take a look, there you go. They are on matte paper, which Holman always does, and I always appreciate that. And the coloration is fairly nice. They're a little hard to see, granted, just because of the size of it. I mean, try and read some of those. You're going to be hard pressed. I can't. So, a few nice maps there. Nice thick cardstock. Maybe not matte paper, but it's like a very semi-gloss. It's not very glossy at all. Then you have your matte kind of cardstock there at the end. 1.5 sheets, so to speak. And that's it. That's the end of it for the Colormax Bible. Very colorful. Let's go ahead and get measurements. This is going to be a wild ride here, guys. So it's 6 inches tall by 4 1/8 inches wide by 1.25 inches thick. So a little thick, but it kind of has to be when it's this small. Let's go ahead and take a look at this font. I apologize in advance because I know this is going to be treacherously small. I'll start with the uppercase I here. Let's just go all the way to the bottom there. Probably be a little faster for us. So it seems to be about a 7.5 point font versus Times New Roman for the uppercase. And for the lowercase, also about a 7.5 point font. So about a 7.5 point font versus Times New Roman for this entire text. Now, 7.5 point font, some people are okay reading that. If I was younger, I'd probably be okay reading it. I think that's pretty close to about what a Pitt Minion comes in at. However, at my age, this is, doable but not comfortable. But again, some people really like this kind of pocket form and factor. So certainly neat. It's certainly attention grabbing. I would imagine, if you're out and about and you're carrying this with you, people are going to wonder, what are you reading? It's so colorful and so pretty. What a good job the guy did when he decorated this. I don't know. But it's interesting, right? And Colormax, certainly sometimes I know, if you're carrying a Bible and people know it's a Bible, they're not going to ask you about it. But if you're carrying something like this and they're not too sure, what is a Colormax? They got pictures in it or something, and then, you bust out with some scripture, they're going to, okay. So it might give you a chance to, spread the gospel with somebody when it's a little lower key like this. So Bible Buddies, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it'll be up on eBay if you're interested in it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, be super appreciative of it. Until next time, Bible Buddies. Bye.